Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I truly appreciate you being here. Thank you so much to those of you who reached out during my brief absence last week. So this is my second update for Pan Those Shadows, or Pan Those Eyeshadows, and woo woo! I have one more eyeshadow rolling out that's really exciting for me. My ultimate goal for this project will be to get about 2 shadows out per month, but since this is only my second month, it's really been hard to kind of build up uses on these shadows. 20 is a lot. That's a lot. So I'm hoping next month I will be able to start hitting that goal every month. You know, I had to get some uses built up. So let me start with the shadow that did get 20 uses, and that is this ABH. Let's see if we can focus there. I don't know if it will or not, but I'll always insert pictures. So this is the ABH Blushing eyeshadow. I cannot believe that this shadow is not hit pan. I cannot believe it. It is so deep in here. I have used this shadow so many times. It has such a big dip in it. Before I even started this project, it had a really big dip. And it's also just such like a really light shade. So usually, you know, with light shades, you kind of go a little bit crazy when you're packing it up on the brush, because especially this one, because I do try to get a little bit of pigment out of it. And I just kind of really go crazy. That is one thing though, if like all the way around on this, it is kind of, you know, getting thinner. So I think that when I do hit pan with this shadow, it's going to really be a large pan, hopefully. I plan on showing some looks with a lot of these other eyeshadows, but this one is really just, you just really can't tell, honestly, when it's in a look, unless you're like watching the tutorial. So I'm probably not going to do any looks with this one. But the last thing to note about this shadow is that I do plan on using it up this year. It's in my 21 and 21 Team Project pan. So if you watch any of those videos, you will be seeing this shadow finish up this year, hopefully. Juvias Place Custard. I am at 8 uses on this one. It's this middle shade here. This was my next focus shadow for the month. So after I knew I was going to hit on blushing, I started really focusing on this guy. And I think that this is going to be one of the shadows that I focus on rolling out next month. I have thoroughly enjoyed this shadow this month. I started really playing around with it and getting to know it. I started trying it out with all my other palettes and shadows that are in projects and seeing how it kind of combined and worked with those. So I actually have quite a few looks with this one. Some are better than others. You know, when I do looks, I like to experiment. For me, finished looks aren't necessarily about me showing you how awesome my skills are. It's more about just kind of experimenting and seeing what colors look like with other colors and what formulas work with other formulas. Overall, I mean, this is a good shadow. It does sort of have this weird inconsistency about it, and I think you'll notice that in the pictures, and that's how easily it changes from like a cool tone pink to a warm tone pink. But London Queen. So I am up to, let's see which one it is, this one here. I'm up to 6 uses from 5. LOL. Can you say LOL or do you just read LOL? I'm up to 6 uses from 5. It's not very good. Sorry about that. This is really a summer color for me. I just really didn't have a lot of desire to reach for this. It didn't really go with any of the looks I was doing. I think I found one way, I found one way to work it in, and yeah, hopefully by next update, I would like to have at least 10 uses or more on this one, but you know, it's what it is. Ofra Rodeo Drive. So this is another shadow that I would like to get out by next month. It is this center shadow. Last month I had 5 uses, now I have 10. And this is a super easy and super flattering shadow for me to use. Just for clarification, because I did have somebody kind of ask, it actually, it is actually Ofra Rodeo Drive highlighter formula. So Ofra started marketing their highlighter formulation as eyeshadows, and they started putting them eyeshadow palettes, but even more so, they started creating whole eyeshadow palettes with this baked formula in a bunch of different colors. So Ofra's trying to tell us that this could be an eyeshadow. So of course I want to try it that way, and I do think it works. I do think it can be used in either capacity, and it really is nice either way. I think that Ofra highlighters, it's funny because I think that Ofra highlighters are among the blingiest highlighters, but then when you use them as eyeshadow, this just really ended up being kind of like pretty and soft. Even when I tried to build it up and give it some bling, it really just kind of lended itself to being more in that pretty, soft, subtle, just pretty. Is how I would describe it. So, and the last shadow from the existing palettes compilation is Smashbox Wheat. I pulled this one in last month. This is from the Photo Matte Mini Palette. It's not the most exciting shade. It's really not. And I think honestly I would prefer using this one in the summertime. It's a little bit dark for winter for what I would use it for. But the cool thing about this one is that it did encourage me to play with this palette a little bit, which is something I had been wanting to do for a while now. And I do really think it's a good palette. That's how it kept making it through declutters. Every time I would play with it, I'm like, I like this palette. But I do like it, and I think this is one of those amazing like run to the grocery store errand running type palette. It really reminds me of the Urban Decay Naked Basics palette. It has a slightly better formula in my opinion, but it's missing a little bit of the depth. So how the Ofra or how the Urban Decay palette had that nice black in it, so you could get a really good depth. The darkest shade in here is like a dark brown, and honestly it's just not super dark. But I think this will be an easy shadow for me to reach goals on. I think that by next update, I could probably do that maybe. I don't know. We'll see. And I hope to, at the very minimum, have at least 5 uses on every shadow per month. So I didn't reach that goal on one. Who didn't I reach that goal? Oh, Butter Linton. This guy. So I didn't reach the goal on Queen for this month, but that is definitely a goal. Okay, so I haven't mentioned this before, but I actually have my palette sorted by purchase year, and every year in this project has a representative. So maybe I'll talk more about that in the next update, maybe explain that a little bit better. But the ABH Blushing shade was a representative from 2017, so I'm going to be picking another shadow from purchase year. That sounded weird. Purchase year, that's what it was, purchase year. Yeah, no, purchase year of 2017. Let's roll this. Number 6. Okay, so that's my MAC palette, which has already been in this project. And then number 13. Oh, meh. This is a little disappointing. It's this shade here. It is MAC Aqua. I have played with this shade before, and it has been on my I might declutter this shade list before. So anyways, last January, so January, February, this is the March update. So January, I had MAC Shockfactor. It ended up being really terrible, and this is just another shadow that I feel I haven't really had that great of luck with already going in. But the good part is that I'm really open to decluttering in this project. So if the shade doesn't work for me, then you know, I'm not going to keep going. 20 times is a lot of times to force yourself to kind of use a shadow that is just real mediocre. But anyways, I'm getting ahead of myself, so let's actually, you know, use it before I decide that I'm going to declutter it and that I don't like it, right? Maybe. Alright, that is the update for March, and I'm going to go ahead and swatch out the palette, and then I'm going to turn the camera angled this way so we can get a better look at it, and yeah, I will see you in that view. Alright, so let's swatch this new palette. First off, we're starting with the Juvias Place. We're going to go, what's the name of this one? Custard. I forget the name of it a lot. So it is going to be shade 1. Should take my watch off, but I forget to do that sometimes. So I have Custard. I'm just going to swatch them in the order like that they appeared, if that makes sense. Custard, and then Queen, and Then I believe next was this Ofra Rodeo Drive. Oh, that was light. Very pretty. There we go. So there's Rodeo Drive. And this one's really hard to see. This one will be Wheat. Oh boy. I don't think you can barely see that. And lastly, oh, I hate to use my thumb, but we're going to, because I don't want to wipe my hand off. So once again, it's pretty. It's a pretty, oh gosh, color scheme. It'll just be interesting to see how I use that. That shade is just really chalky. Thank you guys so much for hanging out, and I will see you in the next one.